G'day fellas, welcome to a casted game between our British player, who we're going to be calling you, and our opponent, who's playing the Inca by the name of Fisherman Mark. Today we're playing on the map Florida. Florida is famous for its, how do we say, a little bit of swampland up to the north. Now, you can't actually build on this swampland. I fell victim to this once before. I remember trying to wall across here and being so surprised that I wasn't able to, because there are a lot of maps where there is this sort of shallow water that you can actually build on. Now, I don't know if you can build docks on that water, but I tell you what, you can build docks down here towards the south, and there are absolutely plenty of whales for you to be getting in on the action. So we'll take a look over at you and see how you is doing. That's going to be a little bit confusing. I'll say that much when you is doing his work, picking up a sheep. Now, keep in mind, on this map, we've got the market. Everybody gets a market on this map, so get your market upgrades nice and early. Yu's going to be getting that hunting dogs. Already we can see that he has gathered up 52 coin, so going to be going for that hunting dogs nice and early. He's got some great treasures outside of his base as well. 75 wood is really going to help him out as a British player. He's going to be able to get that down nice and early, the extra menace. He's also got an 80 wood treasure up here towards the middle of the map, so going to be taking that one out as well. We'll take a look over at Fisherman Mark. We see what he's up to. So playing with the Inca, going for a little bit more of a, how would you say, a little bit more of a safer opening with the Inca. So typically they've got the market, but they don't really look for any sort of upgrades. It's safe because it doesn't really matter the map. They're always going to be able to get that 4 villager big button in, and that's exactly what Mark looks like he's going to be going for. So typically we'll see them go into the big button and then begin eating the livestock straight away. And so you can see livestock getting deleted. Llama are going to be eaten up straight away at 185 coin. So should be able to get in the big button for the 4 villages relatively quickly. Looks like Mark has actually found the treasure in the middle of the map, but it's already gone the way of you. So our British player is going to be able to walk away with that one nice and easily. A little bit of miss micro here, but now those 4 villagers are coming in from Fisherman Mark. We take a look over at you and see exactly what he's up to. Going to be taking this 75 wood treasure, so really, really nice treasures here in the beginning of the game. It looks like he actually missed that shot there on the crocodile, on the alligator rather. In Australia, we've got crocodiles. We don't have alligators, so I'm very used to calling them crocodiles. Have a look what else we've got out on the map. So we've got an 80 food treasure. Man, some great treasures on the side of the British player. Just, you know, the 80... I mean, this was somewhat central, the 80 wood, but the 75 wood and then the 80 food as well. Very, very nice. For the Inca player, nothing too crazy. I mean, there's a 90 coin up to the north and a war dog, a native scout, so some pretty good stuff. Otherwise, it's just relatively small treasures. Actually, 100 coin down here as well, so not too bad. So you is going to be picking up this treasure. Looks like he's crack-shotting the second alligator and going to be able to take out the first one. So he's going to be very happy with himself taking those to the middle of the, into the transition period. We take a look over at Fisherman Mark. We see what he's up to. He's got exotic hardwoods arriving, so we'll have a look at his deck and see what he's got. That's what he's got. Okay, it makes sense. It makes sense. His name's Fisherman Mark. The deck name is Give You Fishing Boat, and we can see that he's definitely going to be giving a fishing boat. So this was actually something that we talked about in one of my most in one of the more recent games that we casted. It was the potential for Inca fishing boats to be absolutely ridiculous. So you can combine Incan fishing boat upgrades, and they get absolutely disgusting. And I suspect that's probably what we're going to be seeing, especially because the deck is called Give You Fishing Boat. I don't think this is now I'm realizing, is this a GUA Smurf? Because his name is Fisherman Mark. And if I remember correctly, Mark's Give You Anxiety's first name is actually Mark. So I think it might be a Smurf of his, but I don't know. He doesn't really Smurf a lot, and he definitely probably wouldn't be playing Inca. Be playing something like British, I suspect, like you, his opponent. I guess one of the other things to note is that he's actually staying in Age 1. So we're seeing a lot of players beginning to do this, where they don't actually age up into Age 2 for like, you know, 6, 7, 8 minutes. We've seen this a lot with the Tower FI build coming out of the British recently. And one of the things that we're seeing right here is cancer houses being built along the shoreline. We're at the 4th minute right now, about to enter the 4th minute. We've now got the schooners that's being sent in as well. So let's talk about some of the cards that are in this deck and exactly the potential that it is going to be happening right here. So obviously the first one that came in was Exotic Hardwoods, increases the gather rate by 20% for your gathering of wood. So he's got 10 villages already on wood, so that's going to be 12 villages equivalent. A couple of other things, schooners. And then the most interesting card I think that's in this deck is Alpaca Wool. So this is a villager hit point increase by 50% and adds 30% armor. That's a lot. That is ridiculous. When you think about fishing boats already have 50% armor. That's going to take them from 50% up to 80% armor. That is a lot of armor. That's more than a warship. A warship's got 75%. So that's going to get pretty ridiculous. And then obviously there's more cards that are going to be able to complement that. Things like chinchillas, which increase the speed of the fishing boat. Another cool card is floating islands, so it allows chincha rafts to train ships. I don't know if we'll be seeing any chincha rafts today, that's for sure. But also got armed fishermen. This is probably the biggest card in the deck. So it increases the hit points of fishing boats as well as increases the line of sight of them, but it gives them the ranged attack. That's really what makes the difference. So it's not the strongest attack, but it is quite a, when you start to add up all those fishing boats, it gets quite potent. We'll take a look over at Yu. We'll see what he's up to. So starting off with a stable. So a pretty nice opening from him. Having a look at his deck. So he's gone with a naval deck. So very heavy on navy, actually. So in addition to having both schooners and fish market, he's got whale oil and rendering plant. So 4 economic upgrades on the water and 1, 2, 3 water shipments when it comes to upgrades. So improved warships and then offshore support and then naval gunners as well. On top of that, he's got cards like 2 monitors, so really cares a lot about this, investing in the water. Also got heavy fortifications in the deck. I like that a lot. I think this is a card that's becoming stronger and stronger. And so now it looks like the Hussars are going to be in queue. 700 wood has dropped down on the ground. We'll take a look and see what comes in next. It's going to be schooners, so I suspect probably going to be doing a double dock boom. Typically in this type of game, this is what you would see. So you'd see a double dock boom off the 700 wood, and so you go 300, 700, 3 vills into 700 wood into schooners, and that looks like exactly what we're going to be seeing. So the first dock is going down. So this is an alternative to the big boy boom that happens a lot. So you get the big boy boat boom where people just drop down like 4 docks. So I don't think that's what's going to be happening here, but just probably a double dock boom. And the other alternative is like a boat start where you just kind of go like single dock in age 1. 3 Huss now going to be coming out. Probably going to be doing a fair bit of harassment. We'll tune back in with Fisherman Mark, see how he's doing. Fisherman Mark now just sending in that alpaca wool. We talked about this earlier. So this affects villagers as well as the fishing boats. So up to 277 health. That is a fair bit of health. That is a fair bit of health. And 50% melee resist. So keep in mind, the opponent has actually got Hussars on the way. They do 30 damage. It's going to be 15 damage a swing. And these have got 277 health. So, look, I'm not too good at maths, but I think that works out to be about 18 hits it takes for a Hussar to kill a villager. So, it's not going to be pretty, let's say that much. We take a look over at the expansion along the coastline. There's actually 3 docks that are up right now. This is becoming a more and more common thing because one of the things to note is that Fisherman Mark is still in age 1 at the moment, not even thinking about aging up. He's actually got 8 fishing boats on coin as well, so I'm not sure exactly. Oh, I think I just saw him. I think he just bought wood with that. And now Fisherman Mark moving over towards the war hut, looking for a little bit more protection underneath here. He's got to be careful not to lose villagers. I say that, but look how quickly they, or how slowly they die. It looks a little bit ridiculous, to be honest. Doing scouting up towards the coastline, hasn't spotted those docks. I think there were 2 docks that went up. Let's take a look. Yeah, there were 2 docks that went up from you. So, and now he's now we've got Fisherman Mark actually just taking out the Hussars from range, doing a fair bit of damage there. Actually, just punching them down, and the single villager looks like it's going to be able to make it to the war hut without dying, and the Hussar just walks away. A couple of villagers looking to follow them, and all of the rest of the villagers just going idle for the moment, so a little bit of an oversight there. Continuing now to scout this dock, so he has spotted it. He's got another shipment in. Let's take a look and see exactly what he sent. So he's actually sent all of these age 1 cards. So he sent fish market in, schooners, exotic hardwoods, and alpaca wool. Actually, fish market's coming in right now, so that's going to be the 4th card in the build order. Let's take a look over at Yu. Yu is now sending through the 2 caravels. So This is going to be a difficult spot, because when you consider the fact that in Age 1, you don't really have a counter to caravels. Like, what's the best you've got? Like, maybe a dock? Maybe advanced dock? Actually, does Fisherman Mark have advanced? He doesn't even have advanced dock in the deck. He doesn't really care. He's got, how many fishing? He's got 21 fishing boats out at the moment, so keep in mind that that card that we were talking about, the armed fisherman card, it doesn't actually... You can't use it until Age 2. I mean, and if you're stuck in Age 1, it's going to be difficult for you. We've got more Hussars coming in now, so 5 reinforcing Hussars in to come over and attack these villages over on the left-hand side. Looks like the fishing boats are going to be able to make it safely to the docks, but we take a look at the fishing boats. They've got 370 health. I think that's enough to survive a broadside. I think that's enough to survive 2 broadside attacks. That is a lot of HP. So I think that's the Spirit Medicine upgrade as well, because obviously you've got the market that you start with. So I think he's gone for the Spirit Medicine upgrade. Oh yeah, he has. You can tell because he's got the 6 ranged attack, which upgrades the health of those fishing boats. And then obviously Alpaca will, you can see the 80% range resist there as well. Looks like a villager's going to be going down. That's the first villager going down. All the rest of the villagers are on pretty high HP, so unlikely that they do go down. But you can just see how much of a mission it is for those villagers to actually get killed by the Hussars. Now it looks like over on the north side of the map, we do have the caravels firing off against the Explorer as well as the Pirate. And now we spot that there's a few more Hussars that are going to be able to take down these villagers. But look at the villagers just turning around and saying, you know what, we've had enough of you Hussars. And more reinforcing Hussars are coming in. I think this is the problem with this strategy. You can already see that, you know, Fisherman Mark is now down 3,500 resources. Is only going up to the second age right now. Trying to get up another war hut, but going to lose 1 villager, that's for sure. I don't know whether he's going to be able to losing these other villagers down here. And he's got 19 idle villagers at the moment. 52 villagers, though. That is a lot of villagers. I just realized how many villagers he's up to. 55 villagers now. A lot of those are fishing boats, but that's still a huge amount of villagers. And going up to the second age with the chief, so it's going to be the 2 war huts as well. And we take a look now down over at the south side. We're going to flip it over. We see the improved warships coming in. So improved warships going to be increasing the attack and the hit points of the caravels that are now coming in. So these are probably going to be able to broadside at least a couple of these fishing boats. Try and force Fisherman Mark to get idle. Still down 3k score, so a fair amount of score going down now. Looks like those caravels have come to the flank. Going to be able to begin harassing down. Look how much health they've just got on. That's a little bit ridiculous. Just how much it is. And the first fishing boat does go down. It gets double broadsided, so it will go down. Let's take a look and see whether we can spot that next one. Second one probably going to go down as well as the third. Hussars now coming to the shoreline. Going to begin sieging down this dock. We see the canoes are now getting out, coming out. So we've got the Seminoles. Is this what it is? The Seminoles? Let me have a look. Yeah, the Seminole trading post is coming out, so enabling the canoes to be trained. Keep in mind that canoes can gather fish from the ocean, but they're a little bit more effective in combat than other units. We take a look now over at Fisherman Mark, see what he's up to. So Fisherman Mark's now reached the second age, so still getting raided to death, I would say, over here. But it looks like Plume Spearmen have come out. They're going to be able to jump to the defense of the villages. A couple of war huts going down in the back of the base. It looks like they're just going to be protecting this this tree line. But now we see armed fishermen coming in. How many fishing boats do we actually have out at the moment? We've got 29 fishing boats out at the moment. I don't think there's any in the docks. Yeah, nothing in the docks. So 29 fishing boats at the moment. So going to be difficult for Fisherman Mark to be able to come back. Down now 4k score, so a huge difference in scores. I don't really know what is the play from here. And like, keep in mind, 2,000 of that score is literally just this stacked up food, so it's not a lot. But now we've got the armed fisherman boats coming in, and they take out the first caravel. This is an improved warship caravel. I apologize for missing that. That's 30 fishing boats there. So we take a look at them. They've got 11 ranged attack on them right now. We take a look over at you. We take a look at you. And it is a difficult spot for him, I'll say that much. He's got these double docks out, but he hasn't really done much with them. So typically we see the docks placed down a little bit further. We see a little bit more aggressive resource taking, I guess is probably the best way to say it when it comes to these resources. But I guess one of the issues with being backed into the corner like this is you don't really have a lot of resources. Like the best thing that you've got is this whale. The Hussars now facing a little bit of difficulty with these war huts, and we see more and more Plume Spearmen coming out now. The Plume Spearmen are going to be able to clean up these Hussars. Hussars looking in a difficult spot. They should be able to sneak out quite easily behind the back as long as they don't get snared up by these Plume Spearmen. And it looks like more Plume Spearmen are going to be coming in. And Hussar's probably not pathing the best right now. Meanwhile, on the water, we've got the fishing boats that are just absolutely wrecking havoc. Beautiful shots going down and taking out the second caravel. The canoe looks like it's not going to be able to make it to the dock either. And the fishing boats are now beginning to move up. There's a total of 30 fishing boats here, and they're beginning to clear out the docks of the opponent. Now, these aren't advanced docks. They've only got 60 anti-ship attack in them. And take a look at the health that's on these bad boys. 390 HP. They're going to be able to clean up these fishing boats. It looks like the opponent has somewhat given up. I've just unlocked an achievement, a pirate's life for me. I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but I can definitely see that. It's just popped up in the bottom right-hand corner. So thank you very much to Fisherman Mark for hooking me up with that achievement. We now see water dancers coming in as well. I feel like once you've taken your opponent off water, do you even really need water dance at this point? I mean, 30 fishing boats is a huge amount of fishing boats, even though they only do 11. Even though they only do 11 attacks, so 20 range on those fishing boats, so quite decent. You know, I think that's about the same as a caravel. It's the same as a canoe, so they're definitely not too bad when you consider a canoe costs 100 wood, and these guys only cost 50 wood. So that's actually pretty decent when you consider that there's not too many other options that natives have got. I mean, when it comes to the Inca have got the they've got the, what are they called? Not the chincha rafts. Yeah, the chincha rafts. They've got the chincha rafts that can work, but they sort of take a little bit too long to sort of get the ball rolling. Like, by the time you get the chincha rafts rolling, your opponent's already kind of got what they need from the water. So, I mean, now he's cleaned out the water completely. It's a little bit of a difficult spot for him, so we'll speed up the game just ever so slightly. I think in this point, let's do an assessment. I mean, we're at 63 villages now for Fisherman Mark, 45 villages for you, and he's on the way to Fortress Age, so it's not like it's a difficult spot for him. He's going to be able to send in those 8 villages. I'm assuming he doesn't actually have, because he's got the frigate instead. So it's going to be a curious way for him to try and get back into the game. He's actually going up with the bishop as well, so the bishop going to be providing him that second town center, so probably going to be able to forward it somewhere over here. He doesn't have he's got an outpost in his base, so not particularly aggressive outpost. Dropping down an artillery foundry as well, so a little bit of a cheeky GUA style artillery foundry in the second age, and when he hits up to the third age, I think that in this position, it probably would have been a bit wise for him to go, instead of going the bishop, going up with, what is it? The Admiral of the Ocean Sea, I think that's what it's called. So not too bad at all for him to do that. Looking out for, he's lost a coin mine here, but now the Plume Spearmen are going to be engaging on top of the Hussars. Hussars look like they're going to be able to just provide that little bit of a meat shield there for the Musketeers in the back. Musketeers in the back, ever so slightly, just firing them down. And it looks like it's a little bit of a waste from the Plume Spearmen, to be honest. When we tune back in with the Inca player, we see that they're now sending in the Hunaka support, so going to be receiving that town center. We've got some Seton bows. I say Seton bows, they're jungle bowmans on the back line, and they're going to just be doing some slight DPS. Now, this player does have the great coats upgrade. Harrison, I can already hear him cheering and saying, yes, great coats, the greatest upgrade in the game. Well, Harrison, have you heard of my friend, the alpaca wool? It is like great coats on steroids, my friend. It is, it's quite a force to be reckoned with. And take a look at these resources coming in right now. This is a lot of resources that are coming in right now. This is 1k resources each a pop. That's 3k resources. When you compare that to, look at the British player. The British player is sitting on like less than, what is that? Like 1,000 resources. I guess he's moving villages at the moment to a new coin mine. Yes. Yeah, his villages are just sort of settled down here, but there's a pretty big disparity there. I suspect that's probably going to rise up to maybe 1,000, maybe 1,500, something like that. But it's getting pretty ridiculous. And a single fishing boat is just shooting down this manor house. Just the 11 ranged attack, just slowly firing it down. Actually, it's got 18 siege. I take that back. It's got 18 siege. And now the falconet transition's coming in. So the 2 falconets from the home city, as well as that a falconet now. So there's the 1 falconet, as well as the second one. Looks like it's going to be able to pop out. So no culverins coming out today. And looks like Tupac Hualpa is going to be... He's going to be in a little bit of trouble here. Veteran muskets now coming in, and Fisherman Mark has actually overcome you in score. We've got the musketeer combat that's going to be coming in. We'll check back in with Fisherman Mark. We'll see how they're doing, sending through that Chicha brewing, and building up quite a significant mass of Chimu runners right now. So a pretty good spot for them, I'd say. Also sending in with the Chicha brewing. He's got the 13 cancer houses. You know what? I'm not even mad. I just feel like your economy is already so big. Like, do you really need to go that crazy? Like, how late did he even age up? We're going to have to check at the end of this game, but I'm pretty sure he aged up at like 10 minutes. Like, what is this meta coming to? How can you even be in this game and age up at 10 minutes? It just doesn't make sense. Like, obviously it wasn't like a double Rax rush or anything like that, but it was like Hussars, but it's still a little bit ridiculous. Musketeers now coming in. Going to be able to one-shot that first villager. Let's see if they take out the second villager just as easily. They do indeed. They absolutely wipe it out. A couple of jungle bowmen falling down. Going to be going the way of the heaven. Looks like the Coyote runners are going to be able to connect. I say Coyote, but they're Chimera runners. Chimera runners now moving around onto the back line. Going to be taking out the second Falconet. Third Falconet looks like it's going to be going down. And Chimera runners being focused down and focusing that fourth Falconet. So all the Falconets have now gone down. Definitely not enough muskets there to defend those four Falconets appropriately. And it looks like it's going to be able to repel this attack. A little bit of a curious macro. Can we get an IP check? 1,400 wood stacked up right now. If there's one player I'd be concerned about with 1,400 wood, it would be the man himself, Drongo. So we're going to have to get an IP check on that because you know when there's a big stack of wood, then it's probably him. I remember watching a game, I think it was Canoosial Bear against, was it Canoosh against Mito? I think it might have been, it was a huge game, but there was like a total of like 13,000 wood stacked up, and the whole chat was just asking for IP checks. They were confident it could have been me with that much wood stacked up, but now the Musketeers are repelling the attack of the Chimera runners, and we see refrigeration coming in, so a bit more of a focus. A little bit more of a focus on the economy right now, but only 39 villagers. Can you imagine an 8 villager shipment here instead of sending in refrigeration? It would just really make all the difference. A bit of a difficult spot, though, I would say, for the British player. Typically, you want to be maxing out your mana houses as quickly as possible, but in this game, we can see that, unfortunately for you, he's only got 140 mana pop at the moment, and 20 of that is actually made up by the town center, so a bit of a raid now going to be coming in. Chimera runners getting in on top of the British settlers, taking them all out, and it looks like he's lost a little bit of focus here. Veteran Dragoon's going to be able to pick off a couple of them. We see them running away. I don't think these Chimera runners seem really slow. 6.25 movement speed. I'm curious, does he have that upgrade? Yes, he does. Road building. Here we go. So he hasn't actually sent this one in. Looks like these Chimera runners unfortunately going to go down. They did pick up a couple of villages earlier, but probably going to be going the way of the jungle bowmen earlier from the Falconets. Still running back ever so slightly. And we can see he's got pretty much full control of the water. There's nothing really to contest it here for you. And now a difficult spot as well because jungle bowmen are beginning to build up. What does he send in? Because he's got another shipment that's about to come in on the way. What does he send here? I feel like you'd go for like 5 villages or something. It's such a difficult spot. He's invested, look how many cards he's invested into the water. Offshore support, as well as improved warships and schooners. So 3 cards already going into the water. A couple of Chimera runners still back here. A single Chimera runner just hitting this down ever so slightly. Minutemen getting called to the front. A single Falconet going to be able to repel this. And Musketeers coming to push up. It looks like the Falconet's got a lock on. Does he have a lock on? No, he's just staring there ever so slightly at the jungle bowmen as they retreat. Very, very upset. British player now down 4,000 score. Looking like it's going to be a difficult spot for him to somehow bring himself back into the game. 38 villagers versus 69. So a serious deficit now is beginning to build. We're going to speed it up just because I suspect that this is going to be going the way of the end very, very soon.
Yes.
We see the Musketeers in formation with the Falconets. And now we've got a frigate coming in. Frigate coming in from the home city. And an outpost going up. A second outpost going to be going up as well. It looks like he's going to be attempting to retake water. We've got you now building up these outposts. But I fear he's going to need a few more villages than that over here on the front. Because these fishing boats, they are fierce, my friend. They are very fierce. We've got the frigate that's now about to pop in. Frigate coming in. Going to be able to broadside off a couple of these fishing boats, I suspect. Nice and early. Maybe even take off this one up to the north. Let's see exactly what he goes for. Looks like, there we go. The first shot's coming off, taking out the first fishing boat. Second fishing boat going to be going the way of the bottom of the ocean. Looks like it gets off a cheeky little shot before. Was that a pool trick? Did we just see a fishing boat pool trick right there? I think we did. But yeah, it's a curious time to contest water, I would say, because like I feel like at this point, like you really just need to focus on the land. Your opponent's won water. I mean, you can put these outposts up, but you want to know the best part about putting these outposts up? Even though they've got an anti-ship attack of 100, they don't actually use their anti-ship attack against fishing boats. They use their normal land attack against fishing boats. So even if, you know, let's say hypothetically you got 7 outposts up here along the shoreline, there's absolutely, like, they wouldn't do anything. They do 30 ranged attack And then you've got the 80% ranged attack, or 80% resistance on top of that. We now see the fishing boats coming into the corner. These fishing boats have got 576 health. Look how much health they've got. How is that even legal? They've got 13 attack, 600 health. These fishing boats have got more than 600 health, putting the frigate into the corner right now. The outposts are trying to fire upon them. More than 600 health right now on these fishing boats. It is absolutely ridiculous. He's doing the water dance. You can see that in the top right-hand corner. Going to be taking down these outposts now as well. The outpost going to be going the way of the earlier frigate, unfortunately. 614 HP fishing boats. How many fishing boats does he even have there? That's 21. He's not even idling his other fishing boats. He's like, yeah, we're only going to bring half of our fishing fleet up here. And you can see the outpost is firing at these fishing boats. Where's the fishing boats? It's damaging. It's damaging a fishing boat in here, but you can see that it's like, it's not even scratching it. Where is it? Here, this one. Is it this one? 537? No, it's not even this one. I can't click it. They're all stacked on top of each other. But you can just see it's like it's scratching the fishing boat. It's barely even doing anything. Oh my, I feel so sorry for you at this point. There's now a 9,000 deficit. I guess that this begs the question, is this toxic? I really don't know if this is toxic, but we've got a fight that's breaking out on land as the water battle finishes. The Chimera runners look like they're going to be able to get on top of the falconets. Musketeers doing a great job to deal with it in melee combat, but I don't think it's going to be enough. On the back line, the elite junglemen are just firing off upon them. A couple of dragoons back here as well. So I think that those dragoons are probably going to be going in a little bit of a difficult spot, but Inca is definitely looking in a great position. We've got the attack dance that's coming in 19%, as well as the melee infantry combat. More reinforcing Chimera runners that are coming in now. Now, keep in mind, these Chimera runners aren't speed upgraded. They're going to be taking a little bit longer to get into the fight, but overwhelmingly, we see the Inca going to be able to pull this one out. I suspect we're going to be seeing an Inca victory any second now. 2 more falconets coming out of the woodwork, but unfortunately there's not enough musketeers there for that one. Gonna need a much larger mass of musketeers to defend those 2 falconets. 5 musketeers isn't gonna be enough, and more reinforcements streaming in across the map. This huge economy from the Inca player, and there it is. Good game getting called. Now I want to take a look. Let's take a look. What time did he age up to the second age? So there is you going up at 4 minutes 30, and the Inca player going up at 10 minutes and 3 seconds? I think it's 10 minutes and 3 seconds. This is the new Age of Empires meta. Fellas, if you've enjoyed this video, I encourage you to leave a like. If you think I've missed anything, make sure you leave a comment. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.